Good evening and welcome. So after a long stretch of desync, it is time to revert back to Satisfactory. And my plan is Satisfactory today and Satisfactory on Sunday. We might do a viewer choice on Sunday, as we've done a few times before, just to sort of gauge the interest of between various games. And tomorrow will be maybe more desynced. I haven't decided yet. It's a tough choice. And Friday, I'm still hoping that Darkest Dungeon will come out with a new release before Friday. There's a little chance. They usually, I feel, they come out with releases on Thursday, I believe. So there's a little chance that it comes out tomorrow. And then if so, then that will be our Friday schedule. Otherwise, I don't know. Otherwise, we might just play some StarCraft or something. I think that I'll be playing a little more desync, but I also think that we're nearing the end of that game. Certainly won't reach beyond next week. So that will be definitely by Thursday next week. We won't be playing that anymore. And it's a bit of a shame that it is that way, but don't see it can be any other way. Satisfactory will be continually just cruising along, nice and quiet, and just doing one thing, and then just chatting, talking about other stuff, and then building a cool factory as we progress. Next week is going to be some exciting stuff as well. We have Icarus coming out on Thursday, which I think is going to be super exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. And then, of course, on Friday will be... what was it on Friday? Armored Core 6, which will be a thing we'll try. And whether it's good or bad or interesting or not, we don't know. But we'll give it a shot, and it will be interesting to see how it plays. So those are the two games that will be sort of filling up the agenda from a week from now. No, it's Wednesday, yeah. Okay, so the next week will be mainly dedicated to Satisfactory and maybe Desynced, or maybe I'll take a few days off if I don't feel that I want to play some Desynced. It also depends on your interest as well for that game. Of course, those things go hand in hand, because if I'm not motivated, then I can't really motivate you to be motivated. But on the other hand, if you are super motivated, you can also motivate me for that as well. New vacation, just always vacations. It's not vacation, it's just not streaming. It's more along the interesting acquaintances. So I'm not going to take a vacation, but I'm just like, if I don't have any games to play, and if I have someone else to do, then I might just not stream instead. So if you catch my drift. But now the next scheduled vacation, we're going to try Starfield. I'm going to try Starfield. I think it looks really cool, but I also think that it is a game that is probably going to be too AAA for me. If it's a game that you can just casually play and just get into and just have fun and tweak and tune some things and explore and have a good time, then that's fine. But if I'm being honest, then Cyberpunk and Baldur's Gate were really good at doing that, and they just did not appeal to me. I think a part of it is that I don't feel I have very much agency in games that... It's same with God of War. I don't feel I have a lot of agency. So there's some combat agency, but there's not really much in terms of story-wise or making your own impact. And that's the question with Starfield, what that's going to be like. I also do happen to think that I'm going to be away the week that Starfield comes out. Let me just check my calendar. Oh my god, that's a mess. Starfield. That's the 6th of September. Is that correct? Yeah. I'm around. It's the 25th, 24th to 1st of October that I'm away. And there are no releases scheduled in that period. And then we have AC Mirage and City Skylines. And then you never know. Maybe we'll have some Dyson Sphere. I bet Dyson Sphere is going to come out right when I'm on vacation. That would be typical, wouldn't it? It's not vacation. It's education. It's training. Yeah. Yeah, we have two big releases and one smaller release that we don't know anything about. Like Dyson Sphere and Factorio are supposedly coming sometime between now and the end of the year. and we don't know when. Latest, I would imagine, is November. Can't imagine this is going to be a December release for any of them. So that's somewhere fit in as well. And I don't know what else we're going to be. There are a lot of things like Starfield, City Skylines, and what was the other one? AC Mirage, Assassin's Creed Mirage. So there's some big games coming that are interesting, but there might also be like other small things. We're definitely going to be taking a look at Shapes 2. So did you see the Shapes 2 video? I haven't finished watching all the YouTube yet. Well, don't worry. I'll be talking until you're done. So just watch it at 1.5 speed and then come back here and then we'll be ready to play. Yeah, so have you watched this Shapes 2 trailer launch video? Looks amazing. Looks amazing. It looks everything you want it to be in terms of a factory game. Like, it's just strip away all the other crap. It's just pure combine and control and manage flows and all that stuff, and then you sort of put it into a world that makes no sense. When is Shapes 2 coming out? Mid 2024. So, but I have talked to the developer, and he has said that he will grant me access to play it on stream one more time when the trains are ready. So that's gonna be interesting. So we'll probably have a stream of that this fall. There's also the possibility of Foundry coming out, and then there's always the chance of some random game that we didn't think about. There's also like Valheim Ashlands could also be coming out, you know. When was it? It was late last year Mistlands came out, because I ended it in, I'm feeling March this year, and it was a really long series. So I think it must be in like October. Let me just Google Reno that one. Valheim Mistlands release December 6th. Okay, well, I mean, major release once a year. Sure, sounds good. I like that. We can go into that. We had a lot of fun up there. Hilda Quest patch. This is fairly small and mostly fluff. Yeah, I don't want to touch that. I haven't even paid any attention to it because I don't want to go back in. When I go back in, it has to be like for a full playthrough. I don't know, maybe. I think it's going to be for a full playthrough. We enjoyed the playthrough very much last time, so I think it's it makes sense to do that. Also, last time we did city blocks, so we're gonna have to do something else this time, and that's also interesting. I think that it makes sense to play it from the start, just because that's it's a good game, and when they release a major patch, just the grind through Mistlands, ugh. A DSP patch isn't that far off either. I don't know what you base that off. Just on simple the fact that it has been been in progress for a long time, but that doesn't mean that it's around the corner. Like, Factorio has also been in production for a long time, but that doesn't mean it's coming next week. But as I started by saying, DSP and Factorio is supposed to come this year, so that's all we can say. Timing is completely what? Sometimes it feels like a few months back. I know. Sometimes you go like, oh yeah, I remember that. I'm like, oh, that's 3 years ago. Whoops. But you know, time flies when you're having fun, right? That's the thing. But I think it's nice. There's definitely a pipeline of stuff to come. I say take the time and get it right. Yeah, I think Dyson Sphere is also got it right. I think also credit where credit is due. Satisfactory Update 8 has been, I think it was really good that they postponed it from May to June to put it on experimental, because it has been pretty damn stable on experimental. We'll probably have a crash today then. There are features missing, but it's stable. It isn't like nuclear wastewater or constant crashes, at least not for me. I know some people have had constant crashes in Satisfactory Update 8, But for me, it has been pretty stable. The features have been generally working the way they should, and the stuff that isn't working is more like, all right, yeah, you need to go back and tweak the lighting and get that under control. But that's first iteration on the Lumen. It's working really well, and first iteration on the Unreal Engine 5 is pretty amazing that they are able to make it so stable in the first patch, and that's because they've been spending that extra month of internal testing. So I think that's really good and totally worth it from my perspective, because it means that it's been enjoyable to play and I haven't been sort of bothered by all the million things that are wrong and we have to work our way around. So definitely some cool things in some good progress in Satisfactory as well. Going to be exciting to see where that goes. And then, there's probably also going to be like games that we played in early access that comes around again, and just suddenly, okay, now it's coming out of early access. Do we want to play it again? Yeah, sure. So I think we'll keep ourselves busy with interesting stuff this fall. Of course, like the big one is going to be Factorio and Dyson Sphere. Dyson Sphere less so, because Dyson Sphere is going to be like a playthrough with this and a lot of guides and stuff like that. But Factorio is just like, I don't know how we're going to deal with Factorio. I mean, maybe we'll go all in and just play a lot of cool things, and we'll of course play a whole series. But the question is, like, when we play one series, am I just going to be like, right, thank you for that series, let's get started on the next series? You still think Factorio will be out this year? I mean, October last year they said they were a year away, so I don't know. I haven't heard anything except that, so it's October and November would be likely candidates. I don't know if they're talking with Dyson Sphere, because you don't want to have those two collide, please. And I think that from the perspective of any other factory game, you really want to get out there before Factorio does. That makes sense, right? You don't want to be playing second violin to Factorio, and have someone like me or all of you be always considering, should I play the new Factorio or this other factory game that I haven't really heard about? I mean, that's going to be yeah. So Foundry, they need to get their shit together and push it to a release for us, because that's going to be something we'd want to see. And then you never know, there's also going to be DLCs. There's also like, well, Frostpunk 2 is pushed for next year as well, so we also have something next year. So I'm not so worried about the things coming out, games coming out. It would be nice to have something we can just dive into and just play for extended periods of time. Like, for example, this Satisfactory series is pretty good. A Dyson Sphere series is also going to be like a long-running one. A Factorio series is going to be a long one. A Valheim is going to be long. But I don't think what else, like, I think Captain Industry was, what, 15 streams or something? Which is nice, but yeah, well, that's a little more than a month. Well, this is, well, it does say 19 on this, so. Quake 2 recently got re-released. All right, well, that's exactly a game for me. I'm just going to stop what I'm doing and pick that up right now. Yeah, so as always, there's also a lot of games that, like, for example, Desynced is a game that I didn't discover if it wasn't for someone recommending it in my Discord. So by all means, go to Discord and throw some game suggestions. I'm not going to be I'm looking at pretty much all of them, but I am not really, I'm not going to play all of them. Yeah, so there's also another game that I really want to see an extension for, and that's Mortal Shell. I was just looked in the game suggestion. There was one, Everlist recommended one that says Lords of the Fallen, and I'm just like, if I see some generic Dark Souls thing, I'm just like, whatever, I don't bother. It's like they always copy the wrong things from Dark Souls and think it's a Souls game. Like, oh, it's really difficult. Like, no, that's not what makes Dark Souls Dark Souls. But Mortal Shell had the same vibe to it in a completely different world, and I really enjoyed Mortal Shell. So that was cool. Like to see more of that. And also, of course, we don't know how big or how good Armored Core is going to be. It was like there were 11 missions in first chapter, and there are 5 chapters, so should be good. Yeah, so it's pretty good. One of the first games I ever played multiplayer on the internet, the interweb. Yes. Well, for me, it was on the internet. It was StarCraft. Played through Ixion, but not a lot of replayability in that one. Yes, Afraid that is completely true. When we saw Ixion, it was like, oh my god, this is so amazing. It's not just a factory game, but it's a factory game with a story. And now, retrospectively, the story is kind of meaning that it's a little bit of a paced thing, and it's not a factory game per se. It's just you do a little bit of design and base management, but it is about following the story. And if you replay it, it's gonna be the same story again, and it's gonna be the same sort of milestones. And then you go like, oh, get the dog, get the dog. But aside from that, it's not really gonna make a big difference. Armored Core reviews are very mixed. I mean, 3 of them I watched all had a list of pros and a pretty significant list of cons too. I don't know. I think it's the usual thing. I mean, Sekiro was also like not well received by the Souls community when it came out, because there's not a Souls, you can't choose your weapon, you can't spec your characters, it's and then afterwards people just loved that game. Even though hardcore Souls fans will still say it's not a Souls game, like, it doesn't matter, it's fucking awesome. And I kind of think that it's the same with Armored Core. At this point, I'm of the opinion that FromSoft cannot fail, and they can only make great games, whether they are, yeah, and we'll try it, and it might be just too frantic. It might be like playing Doom Eternal, which I thought it was kind of fun to do, but then I just realized, it's just way too much action, way too much focus, and I'm completely detached from chat. And then I looked over, and there were like 2 people who'd fallen asleep, and that was all there was left in chat. And then someone writing something half an hour ago that I had ignored. So, like, if that's the experience, then it just doesn't work for me as a stream game. So, what? Yeah, I don't see much chat interaction play. I see. You're right. Yeah, that's the part. But you can still enjoy a good story, and we can stop and talk about all sorts of random crap. But maybe in the missions we'll do that. And then we'll play some games, and we'll have fun, and then we'll leave it and go like, okay, well, that's fun, but it's not really fitting for the community. It also depends on what else is on the agenda. If there's something else to come knocking at the door that demands our attention, we'll just let it go earlier. Or if there's nothing else, then we're going to be playing it a bit longer. So very often it's about, basically when I switch games, it's sort of a game sort of diminishes in interest both from you and me, and then something else comes out and be new, and then, well, it takes off the agenda. That's kind of how it is. So at some point we'll get something new. That's, for example, like Desync. If there was nothing else for the next 2 weeks, I'd probably play Desync for a couple of weeks more, maybe. But we have Icarus, which I really want to get back to. Icarus is such a weird game. It's such a weird game. It's so flawed in so many ways, and I just really, really love it. And so do you. And it's so weird, but I love it. So I'm looking forward to going back into Icarus. Also, perfectly honest, it was surprising amount of support for me playing Icarus in Valheim, and I want to get back to that, to be perfectly honest. Like, me streaming Tectonica or Desynced on release day and not really getting any kind of traction is also really bad for me. So something that is not super fresh but can still generate an interest and an engagement is also something I'm looking for, without it being Factorio bombs and biters, because I really don't want to go down that route. It was fun, but it was like a little bit too much of a gimmick, and I just wish there was another way. So, wish there was another way. But so be it. Right. Satisfactory. Let's have a look at what we have in game and what it has to offer for us tonight. Jump on in. Still struggling on our way to the Partner Plus achievement. There we go. Where's that? Where's it at?
illustrious champion returns. Welcome
There's
home.
been a few additional conversions of primes to subs lately, which is very nice. Appreciate that. Cameron, thank you for 28 months. See, that's one more on the list for the Partner Plus achievement. Ooh, it just knocked over the camera. We're going nuclear, as far as I remember. Oh, yeah, we're going nuclear. Yeah, that's cool. Let me just set up here. There. And let me see if there was something. 2 events on Patreon since earlier today. Hey! Yay! Patreon has turned positive on the 16th of the month. So at the start of the month, there's always a lot of cancels. At the end of the month and the start of the month, there's a lot of cancels. So you basically start the month with like minus 10 Patrons. And then basically the objective is during the month to sort of increase it up so that by the end of the month, when you decrease again, it'll end up at least 0. We're at +1 patron, +3 monthly pledges per, +$3 in monthly pledges. So it's positive. Yes. Thank you. New patrons, 2 protectors of the path have joined. That is awesome. Right, so we have our nuclear facility here. Oh yeah, I realized that I made a mistake. Yeah. Okay, let me just explain this because it's been a while. We have 12 nuclear power plants. Each 3 along each side will be serviced by one of these and one of these. And I can't remember what's going to be in here, but it's going to be... It must be that one. 20 outbound and... It's definitely not that. It's this one, which takes 20 inbound and outputs 0.4. So I need this to be there. There. So now this outputs 30 per minute and this inputs 30 per minute and gets 0.6. 0.6. Each of these is consuming 0.2. So that will be, this part is patching up these 2. And then that will be, or these 3. And that'll be how it is. Yeah, some manufacturers already have recipes. Yes. And then we have basically a little circular bus here. And we'll have to find out somewhere to get things up here and then hook them into the bus. But I want to start sort of figuring out how to do all of this stuff first. And it'll, of course, go clockwise. Now, there was a little problem. We have 2 things here. This is, of course, getting nuclear power in. Nuclear power will, or, okay, so in the corners here, here, and here, there is room for 1 roboport in each, and they're going to be in 3 different locations. So the roboports we need will be 1 in the lower corner down here, heading towards that sulfur coming in. So we're going to get sulfur in here. We have another one up here that takes uranium from that side, get uranium in, also on drones. And then the last one will be down here, which I think will be just going out here and just dumping the waste somewhere out there. Not to be cared about ever again. That's the plan. But that means I need to turn towards this corner. This corner will be the corner. How about making outer layer with nuclear power itself? Also fully circular. So to minimize manifold issues. What kind of manifold issues? Mitigate manifold issues. The outer layer. You mean this layer here with nuclear power? I actually think this is better. This will. It's actually going to be better than if you do a circular. You're going to have the manifold issue a lot. But here you will have the splitter going like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, which means there will be evenly balanced all of them. Mostly for radioactive fun. Well, radioactive fun is not really going to do much, I think. So, okay, we have to relearn all of the mechanics here. Programmable, and that goes this way, and then there. Oops. This way, and then go in here. So I think I actually want to make some drone ports. We're going to need 3 drone ports, right? We have one here. So there's a drone pod here with a fluffy here. Drone. So it needs... hold on. Think, damn you. I have a drone port for the uranium, and I have a drone port receiving for uranium. Done. So I'm going to have 4 more. 2 in here, and 2 for the destinations or pickups. 1 at the sulfur, and 1 at the nuclear waste facility. So we're going to make a nuclear waste. Yeah, using the wrong corner. This has to be the right corner for... This is the corner for waste. Because I want to just put it out here. This is going to be my waste island. 3 Mile Island or something. Just full of nuclear waste. So let's figure out what we need. We need 40 radio control units. Ugh, that's something. That is something. Do you want to build it or buy it? Or do I am... radio control unit. It costs 7. And I get 50. That'll just be done. Then it's solved. Oh, 80 high-speed connectors. Oh, that sucks. Transfer waste also by drone. Yes, waste is by drone. Alright, so now this is a fundamental thing. I can buy the high-speed connectors, I can buy the radio control units, and then I'm going to hate myself for not setting up a factory for it, because next time I'll also just buy it instead of doing it or handcraft it, and I should be building a factory for it. But I'm really in the process of making a nuclear power plant, and I don't want to be spending the next 2 hours in building factories that I don't really want to do. Is there any way that we can handcraft them? Like, how bad is high-speed connectors? Which one's gonna run out first? Okay, so quark wires run out first. Okay, we're gonna need a lot of quark wire for this. Transmutation? I don't know what transmutation is. We need RCU for nuclear. I don't know. We have all the nuclear we need. We have nuclear power plants. We have. We don't need it. We need supercomputers for nuclear power plants, and we already have all the nuclear power plants we need. So that's not a problem. There. That's all the stuff we could build. And the other one is the radio control unit. Ah, okay. So that's crystal oscillators. We never built the crystal oscillators either. So that's another headache for us. There. Oh, it makes 2. Nice. And high-speed connector. Cool. That's going to be the list. So, we need to get all of this stuff. 18 crystal oscillators. A lot of quick wire. A lot of quick wire. Okay. Yeah, I've decided I'm going to build this. Crystal oscillators. Let's build those. That's fine. That's not actually a big deal. Nuclear transmutation. I don't know what that is. I see you linked Wikipedia. No. No, it doesn't. You can look at the Satisfactory wiki what is included. But that is not. And we are going to get this one. No high-speed connectors? Nope. And no more... What was the other one we wanted to make? Alright, no radio controls. Okay, so now let's go in and try to find these locations or these things. Probably gonna run out of space here. But, oh well. Heavy modular frames first. They're here. You have crystal oscillators somewhere? No, I haven't built the crystal oscillators. I wanted to, but I don't think I did. I'm full of good intentions. There you go. That's now solved. High-speed aluminum casing and quick wire and cable. Okay, those are the only ones we need. Nuclear transportation is a pipe dream. And it belongs in a science fiction game. Sure, so could belong here, but it doesn't. Let's see, is there anything? Computers, I guess? Didn't we make computers? No, not actually computers. Let's see what we have. That is what? AI limiters, we don't need those. Oh, we did have it. Oh, never mind. Never mind, you're right. We have tons of those, damn it. Right, then we didn't need to handcraft them. Oh well. What do we have here? Nothing? Huh. Someone forgot to complete the build. I don't know what this was supposed to be. We're so close to making high-speed connectors. Oh my god. We're so close. We have the entire factory. We just don't have the resources. Just. But we do? We have 2 of them. What the hell? Oh, sorry. Okay, so we were in process of making... What? Okay, I guess I'm gonna get distracted now. We're gonna make this. Circuit board. Alright, so it's actually just circuit boards, and then I guess I've also only hooked up the first one. Yes. Okay, so I need to get circuit boards in here. Huh. Somewhere. It is so crowded in here. My god, it's crowded. Like, that is a good candidate for a location. First, we need to figure out where the circuit boards are. Not here. Oh, air limiters are running there. This is circuit boards. Is this is supposed to be the circuit boards coming out? No, that's air limiters coming out. Oh, right, that they are actually on the belt. Okay. So this is where all of my circuits went to. And here come the circuits. Yes, and they're now stuck. So they're going to go in here. They're also going to move forward. Oh, there's just a million things wrong now. I'd really like to put it on this outer belt here. And then bring it back when it's there. Yes. Yeah, so long between streams. You're right. You're right. What can you do? It's those games, you know. And it annoys me when I do this, when I don't think that there'll be 2 lines at some point. But I'll still want to continue to bring it up here, I think. Yeah, so this is where I want to bring it in. The question is, do I want to bring it in here or just bring it in underneath? I'm thinking underneath because then it's fewer places I need to cut. I don't need to cut under this one. I can get... Yeah. Let's move over here. And then go underneath. Yeah. That one. There could be 3 lines. Yes, that's... Potentially, yes. And then the question is, do I bring it in close or short? I bring it in short. So we bring it in here. It's funny that I bring it all the way down there just to bring it back up and back on this belt, basically. Things start from... Oh, okay. Things start from this side. That's just how they are. Ah. Well, well, well. I think that just needs to go... Yeah. Then we need to bring underneath this one. So that means we need the half foundations. And we need the small ramps. Oof. And that will be half foundation again. Actually looks better. Ah, nope, too far. And we can dip underneath, methinks. Oh, it's already coming in. That one. And then from here, it'll be... Let's see. You will go to that thing. That one. Why is that a Mark 5? Ah, I guess it should be a Mark 5. And then I'm going to bring it over to... Come on. I know you can do it. There. Yay! Okay, close it up. Bandage the wound. Someday, I don't know when, I'm gonna tell you some horror stories. I have horror stories to tell. Not for the faint of heart. Okay, so now we get all the things inbound. Why not today? Because I have to be in the mood for it. And it could be today, but I still have to be in the mood for it. Okay, so that's going in, and I will now take... I don't think I need this. Killer's IP address was in the... What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about, freak. Yeah. That one. That one. Don't need to hook this up. Obviously, I also don't need to get these Mark V, but once I started upgrading to Mark V, it just kind of seems stupid not to continue. There, and this and this are irrelevant. Cool. Okay, so they should now go into every single one, and we should actually be building something. And this I will also turn off because we're not going to be venting high speed connectors. We're just going to allow them to be there. Why is Mark 5? Because I like Mark 5. But also there's another little issue, like it just doesn't seem to keep up. But on the other hand, it doesn't have to keep up with everything, it just has to keep up with the consumption. And this one is going to take forever because it's at 500 per tile, so... Or... Yeah. It's working, that's good. 3 per minute. That means in 33 minutes we'll have the 100 we're looking for. Divided by the fact that there are 4 of them. Circuit belt connectivity. Okay. I mean, the fact that there's circuits in the last one shouldn't have be a pretty good indicator that it's working. Or what am I missing? So we now have 4. Left one. Okay, left one. Output lane. Cool. You got it. You got... Good point there. Because it's... Actually, I'd really like this to be a little bit back. 1, 2. 1, 2. There, that was much better, but these are also not connected all the way through. Thank you, Grundig, as always, being which is basically how you spell thorough in Danish. So I think that's a very appropriate name. So, and it is making 3, so it's 12 per second. So I need this sign to be showing high-speed connector. High-speed connector. I'll change the layout to that one, and then write 6, and then copy it. There, paste. And nothing, and nothing. And why not? Because they are filtered incorrectly. Yeah, this one. Yeah. Now they're flowing. Might even have enough already. Well, it's something. So, let's go with edit to-do list and remove these. Yeah. High-speed connectors, alloy casing. So we need some sheets and casings. All right, and then we can come back to these in a little bit. Where are we actually using these? Can't remember. We're using it somewhere. Hello, Mr. Emily. Good evening. That's done, but this is also a Mark 3 5 belts, so let's be greedy about that. Yeah. So now I need casing, which is easier said than done. Didn't I bring something back? No, I'm not actually getting any kind of aluminium ingots out. Holiday for me, so I'm not always here these days. You know, small trips here and there. Some evenings, friends. Sounds nice. It's been okay. I think it is. It's been left for a little bit, but seems to be doing fine. Okay. I'm gonna need to do some handcrafting, and you're gonna look the other way because it's embarrassing. There, 600. Just handcrafting 600. That should be fine. Oh, it's not even enough. But we need to wait for the high-speed connectors anyway. So, it's really good to hear that you have a vacation or holiday. I think you've been working really hard the last long time, so definitely need to, or definitely deserve a break. Yeah, set a handcrafted. Yeah, no, you're right. You just set it up here. This is the one I promised you would be temporary, right? How fast are you producing now? 150 per minute. That's definitely something. Just temporary. But that means in a minute's time when this is handcrafted, then the other ones will be handcrafted as well, and it's all going to be good. Yeah, nothing is as permanent as a temporary solution. We unfortunately all know that. Ooh. And I don't like making temporary solutions for exactly that reason. That's why we made the high-speed connector now. But there's also a point where you have to find that balance between we have an oscillator build, but we don't have a radio control unit built. But making a radio control unit factory is a little bit much. So, gotta make some compromises here and there. Yeah. So, someone I work with, a influencer manager, keeps contacting me about random games I've never heard about. Like, oh, try this game. I'm like, I'm at a point where I don't read those mails because I get so many, and they're not relevant. If someone comes sponsorship opportunity, then I'll look through it and check it. But if someone just go like, oh, amazing new game, it's a combination of the taking Darkest Dungeon and Apex Legends and merging into the like, oh, shut up already. Pixel art, like, go away. Like, there's never an opportunity where it's interesting. Someone forgot sunscreen? No, it's just 2 days of summer. That's this is what I look like. Sorry. It is. Oops. Gonna have to endure. Set your saturation on your side if yeah. Oops. Take that one. Pretend he's a VTuber. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. Maybe I'm an anime girl hiding as a middle-aged white dude. Like, it could happen. Oops, that's the wrong one. I mean, why not? And we go over here. Never know these days. High-speed connectors. There we go. We have that. Now we only need the radio control units. Secret waifu. I don't think that was the most obvious conclusion to come to, but okay. VTuber for Partner Plus Go. Yeah, I don't get it. I know that this is my age and my prejudice talking. So please bear with me, but I don't get it. I feel that VTubing thing is like, just stand by what you look like. You don't have to be pretty, but this is just like, it's just becoming so in your face that want to stay anonymous. And I guess it's fine, but maybe streaming is not the industry if you're very self-conscious. On the other hand, if you like doing content creation but you are self-conscious, well, then hiding behind a VTuber thing, I don't know. There can also be an artistic expression, but it just seems weird. It just seems. It's one of those things where I just don't get it. Like TikTok dancing in department stores. I don't get it. I don't get the upside. I don't get why it is. And I just have to acknowledge that it's my age showing. And then just try to not offend anyone with my ancient old-fashioned views. Oh, speaking of something like, there's a Pride this weekend in Copenhagen, and my daughter is going to Pride with a friend, a queer friend. I am so happy. My little girl is becoming a teenager. That is, I'm so happy for her. I was just like, of course it's her friend, her queer friend is going there with her parents, and she asked if my daughter wanted to come, and I was like, yes, of course you want to come. Like, ask her, like, you want to go? But I think that's cool. I want her to broaden her horizon and see other things. normally dads have different attitudes than that. Well, yeah. But no, this. And we also talked about like, oh, do you know what it is? Like, yeah. She went with her mom a couple of years ago, so that's nice. But now she's going with a friend, and of course her friend's parents are nearby because I mean they're only 13. So, but still, it's I think it's interesting. It's good. I'm happy about it. So, we got the stuff we wanted. Can we remember why? Because So we wanted to make... Oh, no. Oh, no. Drones don't work without... Drone ports don't work without drones. We need more radio control units. Okay, that's just 2 more. That's fine. We can do that. We can do that. Have some omelets to cook. You cook them omelets. Crystal oscillator. All right. And yeah, good. Got it. 4 drone pods, but only for 2 drones? Yes. See if you can figure that out. I'm sure you can. Put in the effort. I'm sure you can figure that on out. Wait for it. Wait for it. Nope. I can see the smoke. Yeah, so out here, the reason why I'm positioning it here is because I have some sulfur right there. And that's where we're going to be putting the next roboport. Drone port. Ding! What? Oh, that's the one. Yeah, let's go this way. And then we have to build a nuclear waste facility, and we have to complete that so we don't ever have to come back. Oh, no. Do we remember how much? There. It was this one at 150. Okay, 37.5 times 4 of those. That means 7,550. Okay, it's not going to be... Beep, beep, low fuel. How much low fuel? Ah, it's fine. It's fine. So let's see, we're going to need a... We don't even need this one. But we could build it, though. So we are going to build it, because of course we are. Yeah. Cool. Only have 90 concrete. That is a good point. Luckily, concrete is my middle name. It actually isn't. But, you know. This is concrete. It could be my middle name, though. Yeah. Oops. Crap. Owie. Some kind of weapon? That's not a weapon. That's a weapon. Ow, you bastard. Food. Looking good. I'm gonna need to drag this from over here. Ah! No! Float, damn you. Yeah. Oops. Can we chainsaw these plants? Or are they too big? They probably are. Well, they are clickable. Sweet. They're still ghostly. That's interesting. So, I will get... Oh, that's also safe. That's looking so weird. Then I am going to get transport, drone port. Good. This will call sulfur. And then I'm going to get just in here. Like that. Then we're gonna get some. I just want to hook this up and then we'll take the break. How will battery refueling happen? We'll find out. Actually, it's not going to be a big deal. It's a good point that you mentioned it because I have to put it in. But I'm using 3 locations. There are 3 corners. Sulfur, uranium, nuclear waste, and the 4th one is empty. So maybe the 4th one should be batteries. I know I don't have the batteries, but guess they'll have to be done at some point anyway. We can do all the rest. See, I don't like this going through here. Yeah, and then bring you down there, and bring you over there, and bring you back up to that one. And then we take you out. And this is 240. Great. Should be enough. But we don't have any battery built. And it also takes sulfur, a lot of sulfur. Well, that's why we built a Mark III here. There you go. No problem. We got 600 now. No problem. Let's actually just wait here. Cool, this is a nice place to end. Wait, terminal. Seriously? Why do the stations have such stupid names? Which 79. Good. Will the drone handle full capacity of a tier 3? Don't know. We'll have two drones coming in. So, we'll see. Future near problem. Exactly. Also, we have another place of sulfur nearby, so I'll take that one. Let's dedicate, like, when we did this, there was another one, like that one, and there's another one that's right here. No, that, I think maybe on that one. Or is it off here? Here, I guess. Anytime now. Ah, okay. Well, there. That one. That's the one we take. Cool. Let's be back in 2 minutes and then see how we progress. Be back in a bit. we're back. Is the series on self-expanding factory in Factory ended? No, not really. Even though he doesn't admit it. Nah. Well, I have tried several times on Sundays, and I will try this Sunday as well, to put it up for a vote in the community what we should play. And it'll always be one of the options to play Factorial, and it's never been one of the options. It's never been the option that's been chosen. So, by that means, it is by popular demand, not coming back. If there was an overwhelming desire to see it come back, then it would be coming back. But so far, that has not been the case. So, it's kind of on the back burner. I definitely want to complete it, and I definitely want to do more with it, but I'm also just like a slave to the opinions of the masses. Yeah, the power of democracy is too strong. Exactly. And if there is no interest in it, then there's no interest in it, and I'm not gonna be insisting. And of course, it's not like completely fair democracy, because the people who come in here like once in a while and go like, hey, has it ended? They get 1 vote. But the people who are watching every day, they get many votes if they want to. And therefore they can be, their opinion weighs more. Like, isn't that, I mean, some people are like, it feels anti-democratic, and it is. But, well, actually it probably isn't. If you look at the origins of democracy, it was only like men over 35 who owned land who had the right to vote. So, you know, it's not exactly like, the origin wasn't exactly like everyone. But anyway, the fact that the people with the most invested are the ones who get to have the most say in what we play, I think that's fair. We're gonna have to build another one over here for batteries, but, well, we're gonna make another loopy-de-loop here for batteries for sure. Okay, so this is going to be an inbound that will be coming in to this one. Now I think I need to do the loops for the 3 loops first, so that they make sense. Yeah. Okay, let's try and see. This one is, oh, turn it on. That is the weirdest location. But it's the same location as this. Okay, so let's go. Yeah. 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 We'll do, I think, the boring way, set up all first, and order death throne data, or the fun way, the opposite. Death throne. We're gonna set up everything first, because I'm not an idiot. I'm not that much of an idiot. Love that I had to correct myself there. Exactly at this location. And that's basically how I always do things. I like to build everything and then just to hook it up so it looks magnificent when building. I am also I'm a little bit constrained on my time I have, because I have so many other things going on during the day these days that that the time I used to be able to spend on making YouTube videos. I have to be a little bit more clear on, okay, looking at the next week, when do I have days where I can create content, and then try to sort of plan it a little bit in my mind instead of just going, because it's been at some point where I'm just like getting up, sitting by the computer, just go like, all right, what do we feel like doing today? Okay, let's make a video about this. So I want to be, I think I need to be a little more ahead of the curve in terms of when I want to do and how many videos I want to do for a particular product or project. Yeah, because I'm just having a lot of other things going on as well, so that I also want to take care of. And right now I can, and then let's say when Dyson Sphere comes out, then I'm gonna have to put some of those things on pause. Why is this not? Oh, thought we did that. Do you do separate recording for Twitch and YouTube? Absolutely. And that would. How can you ask that? It's not the same games. It's not the same. You don't have this ugly mug in the corner. So of course it has to be completely separate. But yeah, sure. You don't know how this works, but yes, everything is separate. It's separate save games most of the time. Sometimes I can use to save games. This is why I save every hour, so that I can sort of load up save games and then build something that I have already built, and then build it the same way I designed it here on Twitch. I'm also just seeing that. Let's say I wanted to make a video about this nuclear power plant build. Then what would it be like? I'd explain what the purpose is, and then I wouldn't be like dragging belt, dragging belt, dragging belt, dragging belt. No, I'd have to sort of cut across that, because no one's really interested in that kind of let's play or play style anymore. If there ever was an interest, to be honest, but certainly not anymore. So that doesn't work. Cool. So here we have these two all the way around. Then let's figure out how to do the part. Let's see, where do we are this corner, that's the corner. So we need to drag the waste product, which comes out here. We have to drag that back that way. Some of it like to build stuff. I know. And unfortunately, or not, I don't know if it's unfortunate, but it's the way it is. So that's the way it is. Certain things just don't really work on YouTube. Maybe they never did, but I just didn't notice it. Not that I'm the expert on what works on YouTube, quite the contrary. But it's... I don't know. Yeah. And that now needs to go over to that corner. Yes, perfect. And then from here, it'll basically go from here. How cool can we make it? A little bit cooler? That's pretty cool, I think. Like, this is basically straight. And then it goes in. What if you had a second POV camera recording you doing a time-lapse of all the belts connecting? Because it would be fucking boring. It would mean that I couldn't be watching a YouTube video or a Twitch live stream while I was doing it. Sometimes I have to do stuff that takes 2 hours, and if I have to sit and do a recording, then I can't do anything else, and I have to sit down and I can't be disturbed, and then I have to do the recording, and then I cut it down into a 18-second montage, and it's not worth it. It's really not worth it for me to spend 2 hours where I can't watch a live stream or something else, or I can't walk back to and fro, because it's also like I come home and the kids are pick up the kids, come back, and then it's an hour until I have to take them to somewhere else. Then I go like, all right, I can spend that hour on looking for more iron and desync, but I'm not gonna sit and record that. That's why. Hello, Santi, welcome. So it's about sort of what is the value of it, and I have a really tough time seeing any value in that, and so that's why. Killer, I just wanted to say that I discovered your channel a month ago with Dyson's program. Even if you were playing a game in 2021, I loved what you did, and I'm watching the last Let's Play. Awesome, and don't worry, and welcome. Also, there will be more Dyson Sphere as soon as the new patch comes out with the enemies. So much more Dyson Sphere when that happens. Should be good. But for now, there's not much point for me in playing Factorio or Dyson Sphere or stuff like that when it's not really current. I'd rather be sort of saving it, and then when I load up Dyson Sphere and hear the music for the first time, I go like, I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, so this actually has to be turned. And VOD. So that goes over here. I mean, that line and this line are coming in, so we need to merge over on this side. Good. This is good. It's actually ready already. Ready. I've tried Baldur's Gate. I tried it to see how all the hype was about. It was definitely not my cup of tea, as they say. I can't even really say what was the problem with it. I think generally with those kind of games, it's the fact that I don't feel I have very much agency. I don't have very much to add as a creator. So that always sort of tends to make it less interesting for me. And then it has to be carried by a good story, or a great story. This is turned the wrong way. Yes. For example, but it isn't. It's not a bad game. It's just not a game for me. Exactly. A brilliant person wrote that. I don't know. I mean, I really loved God of War, and I just wasn't really compelled by the storytelling in that, and I just felt that it was more watching a movie together. So I'd like to have something where I can optimize, because, well, it's kind of what I do, and build. And yeah, I think it's, at the core, it's about sort of personal expression. I didn't feel that I could add much, and therefore I don't know if I'd say become self-conscious about it, but it just didn't super entertain me, those kind of games. Yeah. 1, 2. I like when there's a game with okay, let me try to be a little more eloquent and elaborate about that. How would I do that? It's also too difficult to watch. Tried without any success. Don't know why. Yeah, uh, there's something about it, right? There's something. Yeah, I think that if the world becomes too big, then each thing that happens is comparatively too small, and then I fail to really care about it, because it's all just stuff. It's too many colors. Like, too many colors on top of each other is not how you make a brilliant painting. It's not more. Um, and then the more becomes blandness, of just becomes noise, I guess. And then you lose, or I lose, the signal. So take something. Take the games with a story that I like. Sekiro. There is a story, and we don't really understand the story, but we're so eager to learn the story as we progress through the game. Yes. And then there are microscopic side quests that can sort of be, oh, this gentle giant. Oh, okay, let's try to help him. Or this lost samurai. We'll try to help him. But that's about it. But the core story is what drives it along, and we can keep focus on this. In um, Horizon Forbidden West, Horizon Zero Dawn, there's just like all these things happening. There's too much talking, and it was just like, it was just so much noise that I was like, what are we doing again? Like this, I cannot honestly tell you what either of those games, the core story was. And I played a lot of the first one, a little bit of the second one, and I was just, I don't know. I don't know what the point was. I don't know what the story was about, and maybe that's okay if it's a mystery, but I just can't even recall any stories that were like, I remember stumbling across, and then some kind of old spaceship, and then some hologram started talking, and I was like, who is this? Why is this? I don't know. Who cares? What? Why? I don't know. And when I have that impression, then I just lose all connection to the game. Then someone lost a need 5 pelts here, and then that just becomes the WoW. Just like, all right, do X, come back. Okay, I can do X, come back, and then huge part of the story was reading. Yeah, I read about as much as the average MAGA cultist. It was nice to watch. Yes. So then if a story, if like those story games is, they're also heavy on the story and combat. So you kind of express your skill with the combat, and then you enjoy the story. And if I detach from the story, the combat is the only thing left. That's just not compelling. Um, like also Assassin's Creed Valhalla, there was not really any thing that drove it. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I really enjoyed that, because the whole cultist thing was enough of a, like, every island you went to, there's a cultist. Good. I know that I need to hunt the cultist because that'll get me closer to the end goal. So now I come here and there's something happening and there's two factions and I have to side with one in order to unveil who the cultist is. Cool, I can dive into that because I know it's a piece of the puzzle in the bigger one. I like that. I'm looking and hoping that Assassin's Creed Mirage will be more of the same thing. Yeah, Black Flag is a little bit is before my time, so I God of War #1 was great because it was a clean story. The story was get the ashes to the top of the tallest peaks in all the realms. Awesome. I can relate to that. There's always like that goal up there. Head towards it. And then we get distracted or we get setbacks or we find it and it's not that. And, so even though some of those quests are a little bit, bring a magic gizmo and then enchant the magic gizmo and then use the magic gizmo. And then you get a new gizmo and that needs to be enchanted and found and recovered and broken into 3 pieces that need to be collected. I know, that's just gaming tropes. But, and then the side quests were optional and they were engaging enough to dump into. Yeah. So, but in the second one, the whole main story just got a little bit muddied, I think. And I felt the characters were overacted while they were not in the first one. First one, they were really balanced. They were really just not too much dialogue. Just let the story sort of unfold. Just rest on the moment. And in the second one, it was just like too much of everything. And I kind of lost the interest in that as well. So it's, I don't know. It's weird. Weird. We do have another problem now. Water comes from below ground. We need to deal with the water now. Before we deal with batteries, though. Or do we deal with batteries first? I think... So this is the height that I would like to put batteries at. But it's probably not a good idea to put it at this height if I also have the same height dedicated to water. So probably we need to figure out what the hell are we going to do about the water here. So first of all, where do we get the water from? Down here. Sweet. So these ones, we need to figure out where we get the water up. This is definitely an option, and then the same option on the other side. And then I have to take, for example, one of them has to go in and fit in here and here. The next one has to go over and fit into these two. I don't know how to make it look nice. Is the pipeline flow bug? Don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Then we'll fix it. There. Well, that was the only thing that wasn't supposed to happen, so... One, two. So that's going to be the first one, I think. Working today while playing some DD2. Yeah, trying to do both, but so far I'm failing. Sorry to hear that. It is, it's tough. I'm looking forward to getting back into Darkest Dungeon. It's just such a, yeah, it's a nice relaxing game in the sense that I have low expectations for it, and I think games just work better when I have low expectations for them. Of course, I have high expectations, but I don't have high expectations for the stream as such. I have a certain expectation about playing Satisfactory, like view counts and engagements, that kind of things, like 1 sub in 2 hours, you know, that kind of thing. But Darkest Dungeon is pretty much my day off, so.
Our illustrious champion returns.
Hey,
Welcome
Executor,
home.
thank you very much. 38 months, but 37 months on the streak. Keep your expectations low, boy. Yeah. Silver Seasonal, thank you for the 200 bits. Yeah, you'll never get that one. No, forever will it dominate your destiny. That's how it is.
A kind gesture.
Ah. This is weird, right? It's... Yeah. Oh. How is... Oh, no. Oh, that's not correct. How is... What? Like, this is correct, but it's kind of inclining here. Huh. How is that a thing? How is... Okay, I'm completely mystified here. Thank you, Anonymous, for another 200 bits. That means we are at 3 events. Woo. These should be at the same height. Why are they not at the same height? Did you base your temple structure on anything? On the floor. Well done, Miss Chimney. Well done. That's the first genuine good troll there. Thank you, welcome, Psycho. Based on anything, I based it on the Renraku ecology from Shadowrun. So that's a very specific reference. It goes up, and it really shouldn't go up. I don't understand why it goes up. It makes no sense. How? These two are the same height. These two are exactly the same height. That's awesome. Yes, so these are the same height. Why the hell is this one not the same height as that? Maybe they are. It's these ones that go down. That's probably it. That's probably the real story. Yes, it is, of course. Okay, so those 3 events, if anyone has a sub then and wants to renew it, then now's a good time, as any. Thank you, Miss Timony. There you go. And now it's an Executor. Thank you for the gift up. Doesn't work to trigger anything. It has to be unique. Tollman, thank you for the 2. Does that help? It does help. Everything helps. Huh. Also this does not help. Ooh, that's squiggly. Yeah. Here we go. Yes, this finally we're back on track with this. And we have triggered a little train.
Our illustrious
Bradman
champion
Dan, thank you for the
returns.
Prime for 6 months. Welcome home. Oh, this might be a mistake, isn't it? Yes, of course it's a mistake. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Hey, Miss82, good evening. Welcome. That looks weird. Why does that look so weird? It's like compacted or compressed, or is it just a shadow? Looks weird on it. No, it does. It is compressed. Look. It's mode default. Yeah, they're super squiggly. How do they become so squiggly? Huh. It's when these ones are not set correctly. Like this. Then they have a slight turn like trains. That's a new thing. And then this one, if this is also just placed. Okay, but let's see. This is unfortunately, it's just a lighting issue. No, it's not a lighting issue because you can see that it was actually bent in. Okay, so the problem here is that I really don't want to have too many going around this bend. And now I've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's bad, right? So it should actually be 1, 2 for this one. Or actually, that should go into these two. No. I think these 3 should start with those 6 over there. And then maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay. Okay, so. So. No, that's not it. Hype the hype train. I don't know. I've kind of given up on it, to be honest. I don't know. I feel bad about hyping hype trains.
More shall gather. More shall enter the fray.
Thank you very much. Mies, thank you so much for 25 gift subs. Never give up. No, I know, but it's just really difficult, to be honest. Like it's, and I know that a lot of it is also like I've taken a lot of breaks and stuff, but it's always difficult when things are not as they have been. And that's when things are backsliding on YouTube, on Twitch, Patreon. It's just, I know that's it's a me issue, and I'm just really afraid of changing something to alienate the people who are already part of the community instead in order to try to gain back views from people who are genuinely not part of the community. That's the big challenge, right? Do you give up what you have in order to pursue something else, or do you just accept that that's it? And I very much enjoy what I do, and I just really I really want to continue with it. I just don't know how that's gonna happen. So. But that's a headache for me to deal with. Yeah. And I don't think more is the right option. Like, just quantity-wise, don't think that's it. Ah, we're out of plastic now. Good, let's go back down to the plastic. Get some of that. So that's just like meaning constant adaptation. Yeah, I know. But there's also, I mean, yes, Mr. Me, you are absolutely correct, because constant adaptation, but you can't sacrifice your artistic expression, right? If your artistic expression is not working, then you can try to be someone you're not and then die of misery, or you can stay true to who you are and not be a success. And that is, so I think that it is more apt comparison than than it seems on the surface, because it is exactly the same thing. Like, you will also get offers or stuff that you're like, I hate doing this, but I have to pay the bills. Dimension Tower. It's not as grueling as that, but it is it is that kind of balance that you sort of, well, these are the things that are true to me, and I don't want to give those up, because those are the ones that I like to do.
More shall enter the fray.
And the stuff that I want to be continuing to do. I'm misery yet, but I'm not rich. True. Exactly. That's the thing. Thank you so much, Executor, for the 20 gifts of that. It's super generous of you. It is, and I don't want to. I don't want to change. I love the way that I do content. I love the community I have here. I love the supportive nature here. It's super amazing, and I don't want any of that to change. And it would also change if suddenly I had 1,000 people in here. Then I wouldn't be able to keep up with chat. I wouldn't know people who's in chat. So even though it'd be more financially stable for me, I would also like it less. And that's the tricky thing, right? It's like, you really want to find that sweet spot of just making the whole thing fit. And from my perspective, I have cut down a lot of expensive hobbies and stuff like that. And unfortunately, I have now picked up a little bit of an expensive hobby, but I don't travel at all. And that's part of it is of course desire. I've traveled a lot, but it's also a matter of, I mean, it costs double, both time I'm not working and the cost of going somewhere. So yeah, personally, the quality over quantity. Thank you, I appreciate it. I agree. So it's these kind of balances that have to be sort of considered for me as a content creator. Like, I don't want to be alienate. I don't want to be doing Raid Shadow Legends. Or on the other hand, I'd love to be able to sort of maintain some kind of continuity, and yeah. So it's, and as always, it's not about like doom and gloom. It's about trends, right? If the downward trend, then you can't just look at it and go like, ah, it'll probably pass, because it might not. And so downward trends are ways that the world is trying to tell you something. And then you can either do something about it, you can hope for better days, but that's kind of in every walk of life. You have those choices. Like, maybe your job gets progressively worse, And then the question is, are you going to do anything about it? Or are you just going to suck it up and hope it gets better at some point? It might. It also very much might not be. So that's the that played Raid Shadow Legends, but everyone knows about it. Yes, because it's just the cash cow for streamers. No, 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 no. That sucks. I have gotten so many offers for, hey, there's this Raid Shadow Legends. Maybe you've heard of it. Yeah, I've heard of it. I've heard of it. Yeah. So yeah, it's yes, the hypertube is squiggly, but no one noticed, so that's okay. Yeah, so that's kind of my my considerations these days on how we're doing, how's things going, what are we gonna do, what are there trends that look icky. Hold on, no, it's already going there, so that should be a corner. Woo! Oh wow, there's two people here just really being overwhelming. Thank you so much, Mace82 with another 25 gift subs. Oh, see, that's curly again. Curved? It shouldn't be. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's not fine. But it's not fine. Hey, Freak, thank you for 50 is your number. It actually is. Just I don't want to mention it because that kind of is presumptuous, I guess. But I have noticed it's kind of your number. And thank you for that. And we are now at exactly a level 4 hype chain. Wow. That was quite remarkable. Thank you for that, both Mies and Executor. Executor? Look, it's squiggly. It's squiggly now. This is not how it used to be. It didn't become squiggly from doing this. But look, this is squiggly. Okay. That means I actually have to put this first.
Our illustrious champion returns. Welcome home.
Sino, thank you for the Prime for 9 months. Yeah, so we're actually at close to actually. I couldn't stand to see the bar at 98%. Oh, right, I wasn't even paying attention to that. That's true, 98% X-Scanners. Is the double height pipe holder aligned with the previous set? Should be, because that's middle and out here, and then this one out here is missing because that's the one that goes in here. So yes. But good to see it, or to mention it, so we can check. Yeah, so 3 minutes and we're at a level 4. That means actually a free build. Woohoo! What are we gonna free build? Free build? What are we free building then? Huh. How can we exploit that? What would be the most valuable thing to free build for an hour? Or for half an hour? Drone pods everywhere. Yes. Particle incinerators. I'm not going to build stuff that I don't have or don't need. But, yeah. There you go. Too bad you can't craft RCUs. Yes, indeed. 2 minutes left for this glorious hype train here. It does help a lot with one person dropping, with me dropping 25 subs and then Executor 20 subs on top. So, don't you need Accelerant to get rid of the nuclear waste? No. That's way too advanced for me. I just do what you're supposed to do. Just dump it in the ocean. Let future generations deal with that problem. Ooh, Anonymous, thank you for the 200 bits. Alright, is that like a little battle for the bit leader hype train? Freak is in the lead here with 400 bits. 400 bits, 50 subs. Yeah, you know, it's close. Miss Timony, thank you for the 200 bits. Oh, is that just weighing in here? And we now need a modest 44 subs to hit a level 5 and get an extra hour. I can't even remember when the last time we had an extra hour was. Well, I can. That was the pre-launch of Desync. That was the last time. Almost there.
A kind gesture.
Hollandwood, thank you for the 200 bits. Just getting in here in the last second. Oh. In the final seconds of the train. There we go. Thank you for the level 4. To Meese for the 50 subs. And Vichu coming in here with a much delayed, too late. Well, it wouldn't have made a difference anyway, but if it had been here like a minute ago, then maybe it could spur to action. But then, thank you. Thank you for the 55 months. You did say like a week ago that the next one was coming in shortly. And it was. I'm just removing these. They don't need to be here. These be floaty pipes. Looks better like this. Whoops. Now this is not on a spiritual level, but you're welcome to answer from a spiritual perspective. Like, do you guys also feel, now I'm saying also, that implies that I feel this way, that that all things cannot be right at the same time. If some things are going well, then something else has to invariably go poorly. The funny thing is the opposite is not true. Everything can go poorly at once. It's not like when things are going poorly that they'll be like, well, at least my girlfriend didn't leave me. And then she does. No, but when things are going right, it can't be everything. It'll have to be like something else has to pay the price. At least that's kind of how I feel. That if something is going right, then yeah, I think it's the best way to explain it is really like something has to pay the price for it, for things working out. And you can either from a spiritual perspective and karmic justice and whatever, but I think that it's, if you want to be less spiritual about it, then it's probably also where you only have a limited amount of focus in your life. And when you focus it on one thing, then there's something else that doesn't get that focus. And if you get a new job, you kind of forget your girlfriend. So suddenly she breaks up with you and go like, oh my god, nothing can go right. I just got a new job and then of course my girlfriend leaves me. Well, she left you because you forgot that she existed when you got your new job and all you did was talk about the new job and the new things, like that kind of thing. So I think that's kind of the non-spiritual answer to it, the non-comic version of it. So let me see if anyone responds to that one. We tend to see the negative, not the positive. I have a methodology to do that. To make sure that I don't sort of get stuck in a negative mindset. Silly issue when I didn't get a new job. That's what I say. So is this the life equivalency of quality time and money in project management? I guess that's one way of looking at it. You can look at it that way and go like, okay, well, if you're spending more effort on one thing on your money side, then your personal life is going to suffer. If you spend more on the personal life, you're not going to spend as much. Like for my side right now, there's also like another part of, if things are going well, there's a tendency to dive in and focus more on the stuff because it's more fun to do things that aren't fun. Wow, profound. But if you're newly in love, you want to spend more time with that because it's fun, it's good, it's great. If you get a new job and it's super exciting, or you get a promotion or something like that, you want to get that. If you, I don't know, something else, right? But then that takes more focus because it's also the sort of, you gravitate toward things that are positive. So maybe you can see the other things, but you're gravitating like, oh, okay, I'll close my eyes to the bad stuff and then focus on the good stuff and just enjoy myself. Which means the bad stuff is going to get worse and the good stuff is going to get better because you put your focus on it. And then afterwards you reflect like I do now, like, why is it when I do more of one thing, there has to be something else suffering? And I think it's just that. Like, it suffers because your focus shifts towards the thing that makes sense, that is good for you. So, would you ask if Mies would like to pick a color? They usually don't, but I want to make sure. Yes, so Mies 82, do you want to pick a color? You picked a brownish? Stool in the blood color last time, I think. You're describing the daily struggle of some of the ADHD. I wonder why. Things always go wrong. Things sometimes go right. Something has to go wrong for something to go right. Correlation does not equal causation. No, but that's what I'm saying. I think there is a causation in there as well. I think that is not just, yeah, and still correlation. Yeah, no, I don't, yeah. Okay, well, if Mies is not picking anything, I'll pick the one. I just want the 50 sub to be the one that is actually in there. Where was it? I saw that there was a color. There. A little bit of olive green here. Bad even without the good things happening. Good doesn't make something that is inevitable. No, that's not really what I'm saying. I'm not talking about, oh, I got a new girlfriend, hence my grandmother must die next week. That's not what I'm saying. That's the spiritual comic version of it. I'm saying it from a rational perspective of, I only have a certain amount of attention or hours every day, and if I spent all my days on dates, I'm not making YouTube videos, so my YouTube channel is probably suffering for it. If I take a lot of days off because I want to go out partying, then I don't stream as much. Then my stream is probably suffering for it. That's the rational argument for it. Right? That's the example I'm like, if there's like, if you focus on something and then it's more fun to focus on stuff that works well. If I put out if I'm putting out desync videos on YouTube and they just don't perform, if I'm streaming desync on Twitch and I'm just not enjoying it, I am less likely to put extra hours and do an extra stream and do extra stuff here. I'm more likely to go like, well, I'm gonna do this, but then if something comes along and I'm gonna take Tuesday next week off, I'm gonna take Tuesday next week off. But if this was Dyson Sphere that came out, then I wouldn't be taking Tuesday off because I would be like, clean out the calendar. I'm gonna be doing Dyson Sphere and that's it. So that's where I'm saying that there's definitely a causation involved. Hey, Astrid. There are only 168 hours in a week, and you could use about half of those on sleep and personal maintenance. Personal maintenance. Yeah. My own experience is that the important is our attitude in general. Bad things will and are bound to happen, and I can only change how I react to them. That's my thing. My motto is life is 80% or is 90% what life is 90 is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it or react to it. And I do I do believe that's the case for almost all perspectives. This one should actually go that way, shouldn't it? Look better? I don't know. So yeah, I think you're definitely right about that that perspective. So we need to get the blueprint. Let's see, how did this blueprint work? It's here. Uh, there they are. Oh, that sucks. I forgot that. Don't forget my break. Yes, let's take a break here. It took me a great deal of effort to learn, but now I swear by it. Awesome. I agree, and it's good thing to remind yourself when something bad happens. Like it's easier with this when the small stuff. We'll continue this. I like these discussions. I like these talks. And just like making pipes, we can do that at the same time. This is what I love about Satisfactory is it's the opportunity to just go on tangents and talk about random crap while gaming. So be back in 2 minutes. And welcome back. Let's see. Okay, let's go back here. Everything in life tends to fall apart. So repair on one side and on the other. Since that we create doesn't last, we might as well simply savor the pleasure of creation. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It reminds me of this fable, myth, whatever. I think that, please correct me when I'm talking out of my ass, as usual. Um, the way I remember it is that it's an Indian Maharaj who built a palace and wants to have like an inscription that will last the test of time, that will be known forever. And then the writing is going to be, "This too shall pass." I don't know if that's correct, remember correctly, but I love this saying, "This too shall pass." And that's basically what, it's such a good saying. Like, yeah, no matter what, nothing is forever. So this too shall pass. Which, and then the super ironic part is that it actually then turns out to be something that stands the test of time. Yeah, 12, that's the one. Yeah, which ring? Yeah, I don't know. Pipes too, how is it too long? Hmm. Oh, right, because it's not 12. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. There, that one. Damn, wrong place. It's Persian. Okay, close enough. By my standards, at least. Persian. It also makes sense that whether it's a Persian thing or it's an Indian thing, it's definitely not a Viking thing. A myth from not around these parts. Yeah. I wonder what Viking proverbs, if any, that survived the test of time. There is one. Uh, there's one I remember that it's from an Icelandic saga where there's a feud and it's like it's really elaborate about this guy killed that one and this guy this that, and then it was suddenly it was peace, and then at a fight, um, or a party or something, there was a guy who took an axe and just cut down the skull of someone else, and then it all started up again, and then it was like, why did you do that? And he was like, it was a good chop. And that's all the reason you need. Like, damn, that's, oh, why? We just made peace. It's a good chop. There we go. Yeah, so that's about the as deep as it goes with with the Nordic mythology. Exactly. It was like, I have a critical hit. I gotta use it for something. Next attack is a critical hit. It expires in 10, 9, 8. It's gotta happen. Someone cast True Strike. Right, so this is colliding, so we actually have to move these. This will then be on top of the rails, so it should be out here. But I know one thing that never dies. Words is a great deed. Yeah, okay, well, this has to go as well. Let's see. Please go out. Autosave. Vikings are not Taoist at all. However, I saw that a Buddha statue had been found in a Viking tomb. Of course. I mean, fat loot. Ah, yeah. It's it's really interesting. The course I'm taking, it's not even a course. A course is like short. This is a 3-year education I'm embarking on, starting next week, next month. 3-year education to become a. Did I even mention it? I can reward you with some. I don't know if it's a reward, but the horror stories from my life. Let's see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I have to bring. I think this is good enough. I'm just gonna have to go down and check before I redo everything. What was it? I think I missed you mentioning what you were studying. To become a professional or a certified tantra. I don't know. A tantra masseur is weird because it's more like more than that. But that's kind of what it's called. It's a tantric massage education that takes 3 years. So it is, and I've been looking at different places, and I could tell horror stories about one of the places that I was looking for, or looking at, and they were. I signed up. I paid 400 euros to sign up for the course, and then that was just the deposit, by the way, and then they sent the requirements as preparation, and then I was like, no fucking way, I'm gonna go there. I was honestly terrified. And I just didn't like the feeling. So, yeah. Well, it's not much. It's not much in terms of training. It's just that they, for good reason, they space it out. So there's like a week here, and then a week in 3 months, and a week in 3 months, and then in between you're supposed to exercise and practice and stuff like that, which I think is the right way to do these kind of things, instead of just going like, oh, crash course, do it over the summer, because then you don't get the practice or the learning or the reflection. So I think it's fine. It's more like it's more of a project than it's a education that actually just does something. So there. Okay, so you got that one. Cool. Almost got it. Do I get a new badge? What? You almost got what? Tension instructor or something like that? Yes. Ah, yeah. Yeah, so Tantra is an umbrella that covers pretty much everything and anything you want it to, which is both good and bad, but it means that if you are looking for education, or if you hear someone talk about it, you kind of need to sort of ask the questions of exactly what do you mean when you say this, because it can basically it is split into generally, and of course this is like abbreviation, or it's a approximation as well, but it's basically split into white, red, and black tantra. That's kind of when you talk about something, and then inside the community you can go like, yeah, it's this thing here is more like the white tantra, but cannot afford cover sheets. So I think that's the sort of good distinction of splitting things in the white, the red, and the black tantra. So let me explain, let me elucidate those facts. I wonder if that was correctly used of that word, but who cares? So let's take the white. The white tantra is shying away from the sexual stuff. It's about the body. It's about the mind, the soul, the experience. But it's not going to be sexual. It can be practiced with gloves on to sort of put a distance. It can be done anyone to anyone because there is implicitly nothing sexual about it. Even lingam yoni massage is nothing sexual. So it's much more of a style of physical therapy. Yeah. Funny how these are not coming in now. Ooh. So that's the white one. You can fly. Oh, I can fly. I can fly, and I don't need to pick up stuff. Oh, right. Let's fly. Yes, yes, yes. We don't have anything to unlock, so flight mode and no build cost. Yay! Remind me when we disable the build cost. All right, cool. So that was the white part, and basically, here's a come on. An example of that is if you are giving a lingam massage and the other person gets erect, then you're sort of supposed to sort of shy away from it, and sort of stop it. I have never, and I don't intend to. So that's the white. It's pure. It's clean. It's non-sexual. Then there is the red, which is, not surprisingly, the more sexual variants, where sexual energy, eroticism is a big part of it, and is something not to be shied away from, but something to be embraced and cultivated, if that's how it feels. So basically, it means that it can be sexual if that's what the energy is like, but it doesn't have to be. But it just means that you're not afraid of the erotic energy. I don't think these work. I think they're broken still. And then there's the black. The black is anything. It includes. It's really difficult to see that as being sort of. Oops. Oh, that's a weird height. Huh. Being related particularly to anything tantric, because it's just anything sexual, full penetration, BDSM, rope, shibaro, everything is then just part of it, but it just still comes under the, or can be put under the tantric umbrella. So that's the difference between the color coding, and it's just easier to sort of, when you have see a workshop, that it's just like, oh, we're practicing a red tantric perspective. Like, oh, okay, then you know. Does that make sense? Mr. Red. The red, okay, we'll repeat the red for you alone. The red is where you embrace the sexual energy. You're, if that's what happens, then that's what happens. You're not sort of shying away from it. There can be sexual arousal. It's not the purpose of it, but you're just not afraid of it, because it is part of the human experience. And part of joy, and that part is almost exclusively between a man and a woman. And the reason why is because of the traditional perspective, that the male is the consciousness, and the consciousness is singular, while the female is everything. It's so women to women can happen, but men to men cannot happen because something that's singular cannot be right. And it's the tantric experience is not very modern. There is only a man and a woman in the tantric world. So there are some interesting perspectives when comparing that to, let's say, a more modern perspective. But, you know, can't expect something that's 4,000 years old to take into consideration the worldviews that are just coming into shape in the last couple of years. So, I like this, but I do want sort of something else on. Yeah. Sure. I'm not even gonna go into that, but you know, it's also the prerogative of any philosophy to say this is something that deals with a man and a woman, and then just be in that. And yeah. Not ideal. It probably doesn't matter. Yeah. So now September. Yes, I'm gonna need pumps, and I'm gonna put them here. So this is where you can just, yeah, stuff is definitely not current in current perspectives, and that's always a little bit of a challenge. But it's also one of those things where it is not, it's not relevant for me because that's not where I'm at. So something like this. That looks atrocious. Weird that you can't. I'm correction control, but it doesn't align anyway. Doesn't matter. This it's not gonna be there for long. It was also developed in a caste system. You're absolutely right, and that's why, for me, I'm not really. It's not the religious aspects. It's the physical aspects, and I am less interested in the stuff that is religion based. Surprise, surprise. But there's the core philosophy of how to approach sexuality is just so much healthier than what's currently perceived. Yeah. So, for example, here's a fun little example from my life. So I had a kind of a date with someone. It was we connected over some tantric exercise. Well, we connected on Tinder, and she had said tantra, and I said tantra in mine, and we were like, hey, finally someone who is not afraid of that word. This is electricity, I think. No, that's the electricity. Of course it is. But anyway, so he came over to my place. We talked. We had just talked about experiences, getting to know each other, and I was like, you know what? Let's do an exercise, which was just so nice. I've never done that on a date before because it's always like there's always like physical contact is something that comes after, like, as part of the journey towards sex. You start with hug and touch and kissing, and then you escalate, and all the bases of baseball go through in a specific motion. But this one was just like, just rolled out a mattress and did some exercises, some consent exercises. Basically, 3-minute game. My recommendation to anyone who does
Our
these
illustrious
kind of things.
champion
Do that with your
returns.
partner, with anyone.
Welcome home.
Well, maybe definitely not with anyone, not with your boss, but with anyone. Hey, ICBM, thank you. Unhealthy and toxic at best. Yes, you're right. And it was just so magical that you met someone, and 2 hours later, you were just on a mattress, like, oh, can I? You're basically okay. So the game works like this. It's called the 3 minute game, and you take turns. So it's my turn. Then I say something that I would like to do to you. I would like you to do to me for my pleasure. And if you agree to it, we do it for 3 minutes. If you don't agree to it, you can just say no, or you can sort of negotiate and say, well, maybe only this part. And of course, you want to get a yes. So it's not about I dare you to and then pushing each other's boundaries. It's about sort of, I feel that where we are right now, I'd like to be. And then it was like, okay, eye gazing, like just sitting there across from each other, holding hands, looking in each other's eyes for 3 minutes. Magical. Really a nice way to connect to someone, much better than just talking about. So, how often do you have your kids? Yeah, okay, cool. So, what do you do for a living? Nah. And then, like, okay, can I don't know, let's just see the stuff. It was very harmless, the stuff, but it was like, okay, can I give you a gentle massage on the back? And yeah, sure. Oh, I'm flying. I'm not flying very well. So there's a lot of, so it was just like really gentle things because you want to hit that spot where you're both comfortable because it's about getting to know each other. So you don't want to be suggesting something that is way out. But you also maybe want to be a little bit brave. So after a few rounds, I was like, and then I proposed that we sat for 3 minutes in a position called yapyum, which is basically the man is sitting in lotus position and the woman is sitting on top of him with legs around and arms around and just hold each other. It's such a nice position. You're really nice and close to each other. And then that was like absolutely brilliant way of bonding on a first date. Like, oh man, how much wasted time have I had on dates with walking around and getting coffee and completely useless things when the stuff that matters is, do I enjoy being close to this person? Yes. Good. Perfect. There's nice energy. Awesome. Then I don't care how many kids she has and what she does for a living. But that's because my love language is touch. So, nice way to get to know someone. Exactly. But how many of you would do that or would propose that on a first date or would be comfortable if your date that you've known for exactly 2 hours proposed to do a, hey, let's do this kind of exercise. And this is the reason why I'm not going to be on Tinder anymore, because you just don't find people who are like body positive, sex positive, and just not afraid of their own self. Because the thing is, most people would go like, no, I don't want to do that, because that kind of implies that I'm into more, and if we sit this close, then it's, oh, he's probably going to kiss me. It's like, no, there are rules to this game, and if we know the rules of the game, no one's going to break them. And then if we do, though, well, now you know. That's just not going to be anything to build on from there. But I think it is really interesting to be more brave about it. You assume I date people I haven't known for at least a year. Yeah, I know. I mean, that's just, I'm not assuming anything, right? Everyone is different places and different perspectives, but it's just the idea of being so intimate with someone you don't know is like, when it's not sort of as part of a hookup culture, but it's just that it's just a meeting. It can be really nice, and you might not see each other again, or you might be like, that was really nice. You want to do something more, or you want to see each other again, and I think it's just wonderful. Love it. Touch and cooking. Connect reactors too? Yeah, kind of need the right. Didn't I want to? No, I wanted to connect the reactors at the end because once they do, they'll start consuming, and I don't really want that. I want to have all of these things running. An etiquette class for foreplay. I don't think that's probably not what I would call it, but it's kind of okay. You can call it what you want. I think we wanted one here, and I think I want batteries, but it also sounds a little bit silly to have batteries here. Maybe I do want batteries, but I want them up top, on top of this. Yes. On one of the manufacturers in the outer ring, maybe it's mistaken. Please check. Yes. Okay, the outer ring should be the fuel rods. Fuel rods. And uranium cells. Good. It's 2 of them. Yep, you're right. Not that one. Let's check the last one as well. Yes, perfect. Thank you. If a partner is participant, but there are also new people, intimacy is a lot easier. Yeah, we're making him in another 4. Cooking is a great way to express affection and thankfulness if you're socially awkward. Yes, but be careful. Because I made a mistake. Here's the thing. And then I'm going to be relating it to a tantric worldview. The male perspective, the masculine perspective, is goal-oriented. It's about the goal. You're seeking the goal. You're working towards the goal. While the female, the feminine perspective is the process, is the journey. So I had a date and I was cooking. And for me, I was just like, I'm going to cook this. I know how to cook it. It's something I cook for the kids and they love it. And it's a good dish. And I know exactly how to, I've done it many times, so I know exactly how to do it. And I can make it in 17 minutes flat. Perfect. So I was like, slice, chop, fry, like all these things. Like everything was just perfectly timed. And she was stressed out. And I was like, ta-da! Dinner is served. Delicious meal. Ta-da! And basically afterwards she was like, I was like, what? It was not a good dinner. I was like, And then we sort of talked about it. And then it turned out like she had looked forward to maybe spending an hour in the kitchen, just a little bit of chopping, a little bit of talking, a little bit of drinking some wine. It was for her, it was the journey of cooking together, while my mindset had just reverted to, I gotta cook dinner for the kids in 20 minutes or less before we get out the door. And yeah, not so romantic. It's not exactly the romantic experience because she didn't give a shit about the food. And she cared about cooking the food together. And I was like, oh, yeah, now I get it. Whoops, I fell into a little bit of a masculine trap there. So consider that. You might be a world-class chef, but if the date is about cooking together, then cook together, even though it's going to take a lot less. You're saying it's honestly just communication all around. I hate when people just say communication as an answer to something. Communication is not a panacea. It's not like, oh, you just communicate. Like, but what are you communicating? Are you communicating like, oh, when I cook dinner, I do it in 17 minutes or less. And so if you expect that we are going to be, no. There's also something that you can think about what the perspective of the other person is. And you can think that masculinity tends to be goal-oriented, so I'm probably going to be tending to be goal-oriented. Yeah, and that can lead into a trap of thinking that it is the food, the quality of the food produced, that is the hallmark of a good dinner, while maybe her perspective is something else. And you can't, if you talk about it, it just becomes weird But you can also think without just going like, when I invite you to dinner, do you want to spend an hour cooking, or maybe 1.5 hour cooking, or do you just want some food because you're hungry? Like, you're just killing all the mood from just asking silly questions. So just saying communication is, yeah, but you can also think, because there's also a lot of masculine energy in just taking charge and not going like, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? No, just show something, do something, and take the lead. What happened to me mainly because I'm shit at cooking. No way to make everything in 17 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, so Satisfactory isn't labeled as mature audience anymore. Oh, we need to label it as mature then. Damn, good point, Esraga. I was actually thinking, I thought about it, like, is it still that? So let's get some stuff in here while we talk. This one should be fine, but it'll come from where? Prolonged or repeated use of obscenities, profanities, and vulgarities. Sexual themed content that focuses... It doesn't focus on sexualized physical attributes or activities. Sexual topics or experience. It's weird. Yeah. It's much easier when Satisfactory was labeled it. One could ask, would you like to help out? Yes, absolutely. And she was also, is there anything I can do? It's like, no. I got it. Don't worry. Just drink some wine while I'm doing my magic here. Completely missed the target. Completely. And I know. That's why. Electromagnetic controller. We don't have that. Okay, so what don't we have? We don't have electromagnetic controller. We don't have batteries. So, silica, sulfur, and quick wire. Let's actually leave this for a little bit and then go build some of the residual factories. I wonder why I cannot go down. Pressing C to go down, but it doesn't work. Huh. I can't go down. What? That's so weird. I'm unable to hit the floor. There. Nope. C doesn't work. It works here, but it doesn't work here. I can't crouch anymore. Anyone have any idea? Caps lock? Nope. See, I can't slide under. No crouching. That's so... I think I'm just have to save and reload. I believe I've had this problem before. Wow, this save game takes a while now. And we just load it. Well, that'll also fix some colors. Me being led into a kitchen is a sign of trust and welcome. So I love to spend time with my friend's kitchen while they are cooking, or having my friend hanging out with me in the kitchen if I'm preparing a meal. Yes. That is also like a really good way to bond with someone, because you have an activity that you do, so you're not just sitting across from each other and go like, so what are we going to talk about? But there's like casual talk about the cooking part, and you can laugh and you can help and you can all that stuff. So yeah, definitely. Nope, not this one. So, more builds. Morgoth, the betrayed. Thank you for the prime.
It
Welcome.
fills you with determination.
Funny thing, humans bond when doing things together. Yeah. Seeing that the other person is like yourself is apparently a turn on. What do you know? Okay, so now we need to figure out what it is we want to build. That's gonna be, probably should have focused on this instead, but hey. Is the electromagnetic, no. Magnetic controller, yes. Oh wait, okay, we have two of those. We have the AI limiter version or that version. Which one are we gonna take? Huh. I don't know. I think there's one because otherwise we're gonna strain the circuit build. But we're gonna be straining. Yeah, we'll take this. I think we take the default. Cool. Whatever. But we don't have status. That requires 6 status per minute. What is this data build? Hold on. Pipes and wire. Pipe. Oh, okay, it's not pipes and wire, but yeah, okay. I was thinking it was the same thing. I think we'll do that. Yeah. This is 5 per second, this is 6 per second. So it's basically the same. Basically the same. How many did we need to figure out how many we need? The electromagnetic controls. They're also used for one more thing, I guess. Fuel rod here. So I need 3, 12. So I need to make 12 in total. And that would require this one to produce at full rate. And then I'd have one section of this. Okay, so I'm going to build 2 stator builds, or 2 stator modules and 2 electromagnetic modules. Cool. So that means the build is going to be looking like 1, 2, 3, 4. One starter module, one ending module, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 for one and 2 for the other one. Cool. We're gonna build it. When will the video of minor explanation edition come out? Tomorrow? I don't think I have the time for putting it out tomorrow, but minor explanation. I've spent the time today on setting it up and getting ready, but I'm not sure I have the time to. I can't tell the iron and crystal needs at the moment. That is not going to change. That's the essence of the game apparently. Talked to the developer again today and says that you're just not supposed to be building that big, and I was like, you don't understand what I do for a living. Starter. And then putting the ass in assemblers. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then storage. Woohoo! Not exactly like this, but it is also like I was thinking. It's like, oh, maybe it's because you're using those very expensive builds and you want to get that. And it's like, yeah, of course. Then I scale up. I build bigger factories, so I need to get more inbounds. Like, yeah, we're not really looking into the factorial mega base style where things scale up with a factor 10 or 20 or 100 or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but that's kind of what I want. And the thing is, I understand why, because since you don't have belts, it doesn't cater very well to it. I'm also have to what was the other thing we wanted to build? Come on, my brain, work, damn you, work. What was the other thing we wanted to build? Batteries. Of course, the most important thing in the world. Classic batteries. That's a lot of everything. This one is going to be built on site. This is going to be built on site. That sucks. Who thought that was a good idea? That's awful. Okay, let's build this and then assume that that's going to be the way it is. So we're going to have a generic constructor for the wire. We're going to have a steel smelter. No crap. Craptastic. I don't have that. Where? Oh, hold on. Is it? Oh, it's built in. Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay. So then we're going to need a assembler build. An assembler build for the alclad aluminium plate. Ugh. And then we're going to have some 1, 2, 3. Or do I dare go to 4? I want to go 4. And then a storage. Whew. That's what we're going to build. No skinning up. I mean, that's also like my interpretation. That's not exactly what was said. But it was... My interpretation was that it was like the stuff I wanted to do, it was like you're trying to do more than it is intended to be done. Constructor. And then assembler. Of course I should be just doing this. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then storage. Big storage? Now I'm also just seeing that this was the wrong one. Ta-da! Unlimited resource time is up. Yes. So we got some value out of it. We got value out of it for sure. Okay, let me just. I want to get this done. Then we can dive back into that comment because it's not. I don't want to be throwing the developers under the bus because that was certainly not what they were saying. Like, oh, you're not allowed to scale up. It was more about me saying that. Let me just summarize my feelings that because I've tried to articulate it a few times and it gets closer and closer to something coherent. So, when playing Factorio, you switch between different modes when playing, just sort of natural. And there is a there's basically a mode where you're like, okay, I need to get out and go to resources. Maybe I built a train line, I find some resources there, I clear the biters, I set up a mining outpost, I defend it, that kind of thing, and then done. Now I can see now trains are coming in massive, juicy amounts of iron. Yes, awesome. And at that point, you know as a player that now the focus shifts. You no longer need to be in resource gathering mode. You can now go into teching mode because your base is flush with new resources, and that excess resource you can use that to tech up to blue circuits, which will again drain all your resources. So you sort of naturally, because the way the game works, alternate between some resource gathering, and then once that's solved, you naturally transition into a teching part. It's the same in Captain of Industry, where you build something and you need to make sure that it's stabilized. You build some new tech and you need to make sure that it's my iron, my steel, my wood, my diesel, my maintenance. Are they stable? Yes. Okay. Now I can start working on, I don't know, silica production. But you sort of stabilize and then you tech up and then you stabilize at the new level and then you tech up and you stabilize at the new level. So that's the mindset that I'm in. That's the mode I'm in when I'm playing games like this. Satisfactory doesn't really have it. It's just because there's no sort of pressure. It works in a different way. You just build one thing, and then when that's done, you build the next thing. Um, because resources are infinite, so you don't really get into a resource gathering mode. But then I come into desync, and then I just feel that I get stuck in resource gathering mode, and I can't get out, and that's the stuff that frustrates me. So lots of times in chat, people have been saying like, "Oh, you should try the blight. You should try the virus gun. You should try the radio receiver. It's super good." And we're like, I can't, because I can only do that when I'm in teching mode, and I cannot do that until I can get out of my resource gathering mode, because resources for the base is just the most important thing. If I don't have resources for the base, it's going to stop working. So I need to make sure the resources are good. And then once that's sort of in a stable, it's running, I can then go into my teching mode and I can explore, spend an hour on figure out how the hell do I gather blight and what do they actually do and what are the tech involved. But I need to make sure that the base can withstand an hour, 2 hours